Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Jarvis Escott. What's happening in Birmingham? Today I have the honor and pleasure of being with Mr. Alex Flachsbart. He is here with Opportunity Alabama. We are here to talk about opportunity zones and the great work his organization is doing with this new term, or I wouldn't say phenomenon, but this great...
You can elevate it that high.
Okay, we'll say phenomenon. So Alex, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Great. Thank you for coming on the podcast this morning.
Of course.
Great. So tell us, people probably been hearing about this in the news, and of course, the Tax Cuts Act was passed last year. What exactly is Opportunity Zones?
So Opportunity Zones are an incentive for folks that have capital gains. In other words, people that have sold off appreciated property, whether that's a stock or a house or some property out in the wilderness, to take that money they made on that sale and redeploy that money towards certain designated low-income areas across the U.S. And if you're someone who's fortunate enough to have those capital gains and you do choose to make an investment in one of these places, the slew of tax advantages to you is pretty enormous. You get a lot of benefit on the front end, but the really big deal, I think, for the reason most people are so excited about this program, if it is a phenomenon, the reason it's a phenomenon is because if I, let's say, take $1 million that I made on selling my Amazon stock, whatever it is, and I put that into the next great development somewhere, let's say over in Smithfield or somewhere over in East Laker or Woodlawn, let's say. 10 years down the road, that community looks like an entirely different place, right? And that $1 million that I put in might be worth $2 million or $3 million or even $4 million. When I exit that property, I'm not paying any capital gains tax at all on the money that I made over the course of that 10-year period. So all that appreciation that I have, not paying capital gains tax on it. Now think about that exact same scenario, except instead of investing in some property, I invested in Shipped.
Oh, okay.
I put my $1 million into Shipped back before Target bought them out. So my $1 million, when Target comes in at a $500 million valuation, I exit and I'm not paying capital gains tax on the $499 million that I made on that transaction. So
wow. That's
why people are excited about this.
Okay. So let's go back, kind of give me the timeline, how this all kind of came about and how you got here at the state level, things like that.
No, sure. So like you mentioned before, Opportunity Zones came about sort of the tail end of 2017 as part of the broader Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Every governor in the U.S. had to select 25% of their designated low-income areas, statutory formula definition, as opportunity zones. In Alabama, you and I both know we're a relatively poor state, and so about 60% of Alabama could have been designated as an opportunity zone. Well, Governor Ivey had to pick 25% of that. What she did was say every county gets one, and the rest gets scattered throughout the state to places that are both in need, as in there is a need for additional third-party investment that can help boost the place up, and where there is actual strong opportunity for there to be businesses to be invested in, right? The kinds of places where you typically find a Shipped or a next great growth company. That's what she tried to do, that very delicate dance of picking those places all over the state. And as you can expect, based on just Birmingham's market fundamentals, Birmingham got the majority of opportunity zones, really in the whole state of Alabama. We've got more opportunity zones than any other city in the state. And frankly, we've actually got more opportunity zones per capita than just about any other city in the Southeast and heck in the country. So it's great. It literally stretches here in Birmingham, the opportunity zone stretches all the way from, basically the doorstep of Inslee, all the way through along that 2059 corridor, all the way through downtown, all the way down almost to the mountain, picking up UAB, and then going all the way across out through the airport, out really towards Roebuck almost, along that 59 corridor, and then out towards Irondale on the 20 corridor. So,
all right, I think when most people and I'll be honest with you, when I first kind of heard about this, I thought this was more in like, real estate, rehabbing homes, things like that. But the more I read into this, it had more than just the real estate. It had a lot of business development, actually recruiting businesses to come to Alabama. So how did your organization kind of get involved with this?
Sure. Well, I think it all starts from the premise that this conversation started with, which is, the end of the day, your viewers, everyone in the city, heck, most folks in the state, maybe they've heard about this, but they still need to be educated on what on earth this thing actually is and what it does, right? And so, I mean, back in, mid 2018, when this was still really just 6 pages of raw text in the tax code, we being, some of the major corporations here in Birmingham, folks in Montgomery and elsewhere across the state realized that if we were going to be able to leverage this tool for economic development in the way that we should, we need to be able to start educating people about this, help them figure out, what this thing is, how it can work, and then ultimately how to connect to the capital that could be flowing nationally through this program, right? Both for the real estate, like you talked about, and then for the operating companies. Because again, both those two things are eligible for potential opportunity zone investment. So Opportunity Alabama was created as a 501c3 to be, I guess you'd call it the nexus point, the central, the one central Switzerland of opportunity zones here in Alabama, where everybody from all sides of the fence, no matter kind of what your engagement is with opportunity zones, whether you're a community, whether you're a project, whether you're an investor, whether you're some third-party supporter like a lawyer or an accountant or a banker or someone else who's got some kind of a stake in this space, we were created to be that central nexus point of information and connection to the outside world so that we could have a streamlined process for getting people educated about opportunity zones, but then also connecting into the marketplace between Alabama and the rest of the U.S.
All right, and also I was reading up on you, like you all have been doing a lot of events, like community events.
Yeah.
Educating people about it.
Yeah.
How that's been going?
It's been good. It really has. So we've probably done north of 70, 75 like one-off engagement events, and in some cases repeated engagement events all over the state, where we work with a community, whether it's a big place like Birmingham or a very small place like Clay County, to get all 4 of those groups I just mentioned, the community, the projects, the investors, and then the third-party supporters, all into one room, talk about how this thing works, what it is, and more importantly, kind of no matter where you are on that spectrum, whether you're a local economic developer or a mayor, whether you're someone who's got some land for sale or someone who's got a business idea, whether you're someone who's fortunate enough to have actually had a capital gain event, sold off some property, or could have a gain event, or whether you're just one of these folks who's a professional or a lender or even a college or university or community foundation. What is your role in this space, and how can we all start talking to each other to create better outcomes, not just today, but 10 years down the road? Because that's what's so cool about this program is to do it right, you need all 4 of those groups all talking to each other over the course of a 10-year period, so that if I'm an investor, I know that I'm not just, that my money will be safe in whatever investment that is for a 10-year duration. And that, the community itself is going to be supporting whatever capital is coming in, towards that project. So.
Do you have to live in the state to invest in the opportunity zone?
No, that's the beauty of this. It's a truly national program. So, and in fact, of the investments we've seen so far, a substantial portion of them, for example, the American Life Building here was PNC Bank's Opportunity Fund came in to do this one. PNC Bank's headquartered in Pittsburgh, I think. So, their capital gain event happened in the Northeast, and that capital gain event's being infused to help get a real estate project done here in downtown Birmingham. You certainly can live in the area, and we think that especially the more rural you get, the more likely it is that the number one investor source for your project is going to be your friends and family, the people who live in your backyard, the people that want to make a difference for their community. But no, there's, in fact, we see one of the biggest growth areas for this program is, finally exposing the rest of the capital markets across the U.S. to how many investable opportunities we actually have here in Alabama that most folks would never realize.
Wow. So this is quite different from taking investing in stock or in those other types of funds. We're actually coming to you, and you all pretty much kind of manage the funds in so many words.
So we're getting there.
Okay.
Right now, we are a nexus point, right? We are the central connector within this broader ecosystem that we're trying to build, right? But we're not yet at a point where we can take your money, put it under management, and then go invest it on your behalf.
Oh, okay.
We still want you, when you come into our pipeline, we say, investor, please meet the 10 projects over here. You tell us which one or ones you'd like best. We'll connect you to those project sponsors and make sure and kind of kick you down the road to make sure that your dollars actually get in. But we're not going to just take your money and say thank you. We'll go invest this on your behalf yet.
Okay.
But that's something that we're working towards.
All right. So what's some projects or some events you got coming up in the next few months to kind of continue the conversation?
Sure. So we're working closely with the city of Birmingham on its broader rollout of opportunity zones. And I mean, I think this is probably a good time to mention. City of Birmingham has been one of, if not the market leader in terms of its collective response strategy, being led right out of City Hall by folks like Josh Carpenter, Melanie Dinkin, all coming down from the mayor. At the end of the day, we've had the White House has come to Birmingham not once but twice.
All right.
The very first time they visited any opportunity zone city in the U.S. was Birmingham.
All right.
Because Birmingham's doing this proactive approach. And so when you talk about upcoming events, the city is and sort of has been over the course of the last few months rolling out a community engagement strategy around opportunity zones, where they're surveying local residents, where they're convening community conversations around what this tool is, sort of doing that in-depth educational process like we talked about, and then trying to get residents to elevate local projects that they want to see get done in their backyards, whether that's childcare, a grocery store, new affordable housing, new workforce housing, or new businesses, right? We want to be able to identify what those projects are in Birmingham, and the city's got that calendar of events scheduled. So Melanie Genkin at the city is the primary point of contact on that.
All right. So for more information, they would like to get in contact with you all and your organization.
Sure. So our website is opportunityalabama.com, all spelled out. Both words, pretty simple. But if you Google Opportunity Alabama, you'll find us pretty quickly. And then if you've got any questions about what the city's doing in terms of its community engagement strategy and its broader strategy, City of Birmingham actually has its own Opportunity Zones page, one of the few in the state to do so. Again, super proactive about this stuff. BirminghamOZ.org. So.
All right. Well, any other final thoughts? I'm just kind of thinking.
Oh, so many. I always have more thoughts for you.
Yeah. And I forgot to ask you this question. And I know it's just I know this has been less than 2 years. Have been any results have you seen so far, like from the projects? I know you say it's like a 10-year thing.
Yeah. It's an interesting question because, I mean, absolutely yes. I mean, we've seen already investments get closed that I didn't think were even possible. We've seen projects get announced that, again, would have never happened absent opportunity zones. I mean, I'll give you a couple examples, right? We already talked about American Life, but there's a couple projects that are happening a little bit east of there, two in particular, that we hope will close in the next couple months, that neither of which would have gotten closed, certainly not without Opportunity Zones equity, and maybe not ever, were it not for this program. There's one down in Tuscaloosa, where you've got an HBCU president who believed so strongly in her college, Stillman College down in Tuscaloosa, that she directly appealed through a connection we made to a third-party opportunity fund to come in and just check out her school and how great it was. They came down and fell in love so much with her and the school that they almost sight unseen said, look, we're willing to do a student teaching hotel right here on your campus.
Wow, okay.
So it's stuff like that. You're starting to see, and those are, again, we've been doing this for less than a year, right?
All right.
So I think the real thing that I'm looking forward to is over the next 2-3 years, so much of the groundwork that we're laying now is going to be resulting in projects that, I think were long needed in communities across the state, but where there wasn't ever a real clear path to how we get there. With opportunity zones, even if it's only a small piece of the actual capital stack of getting a project done, the incentive and our engagement with the incentive requires all the people in the community to actually sit down around a table from each other and have a conversation in many places that has been long delayed about what economic development looks like in the 21st century. And how those communities can move forward together as one. The folks with the investors, the people that are doing the deals, the people that are actually representing the community and the community groups, and all the other folks all at the same table talking to each other about what their place looks like 10 years down the road. That's pretty cool. And if that's the only result of this program is that we start conversations like that, I'm all about it.
Well, one thing I like about just from the course of our interview is that it gives the opportunity of the everyday citizen the opportunity to improve their community through economic development.
Yeah. get engaged with the process.
To get in, because a lot of times people always see development comes in and like it's outside people, but no, there's opportunity, your opportunity to come in and make develop these projects in your community.
Yeah.
So I think, man, this has been a very interesting conversation, because I keep telling you all, I researched this, and you probably read more about this, online on news clippings or wherever, but to actually sit down with somebody that's doing this every day, this has been very neat. So, Alex, thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
I keep going back to opportunity, but thank you for the opportunity today to sit down and talk with me today. And, just for more information, please check out my website, what'shappeningbirmingham.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see more of these videos. So thank you all again, and have a great day.
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.